Good morning. Welcome to the Polish Museum of America and the national headquarters of the Polish Roman Catholic Union of America. I'm Richard Obszany, the president of the Polish Museum, and to my left is James Robaczewski, president of the Polish Roman Catholic Union of America. 2020 has been an unusually difficult year for all of us. We've had to make adjustments, we've had to change, and we've had heartbreaks. But we felt here at the Polish Museum of America we needed to celebrate and commemorate General Pulaski and to hold an event virtually. We welcome all our viewers in the United States, in Europe, as well as in South America, who are tuning in and going to watch our program this afternoon.
Who was Kazimierz Pulaski? Kazimierz Pulaski was a Polish nobleman, soldier, and military commander who has been called the father of the American cavalry. Following a recommendation of Benjamin Franklin, Pulaski traveled to North America to help in the American Revolutionary War. He distinguished himself throughout the Revolution, most notably when he saved the life of George Washington. Pulaski became a general in the Continental Army and created the Pulaski Cavalry Region and reformed the American cavalry as a whole. At the Battle of Savannah, while leading a cavalry charge against British forces, he was fatally wounded by grape shot and died shortly after. Kazimierz Pulaski is one of only 8 honorary United States citizens. Pulaski is remembered as a hero who fought for independence and freedom in Poland and the United States.
We begin our commemoration with the posting of colors and the singing of the national anthems of the United States and Poland. The posting of colors is presented by the Tadeusz Kościuszko Polish Lancer Society. The national anthems will be sung by Mirosława Sojka-Topór, accompanied by Bartłomiej Ciężopka.
Random March.
Today's 2021 Pulaski Day Commemoration is made possible with the generous support of PNC Bank, the Polish Roman Catholic Union of America, and the Polish and Slavic Federal Credit Union. We thank them for their support, and we thank them for helping us honor a great American hero. Also, for our viewers who are watching the streaming event, you'll be able to download today's program on our website and look at all our guests as well as today's listing of our program. As you will know, we will try to run this program as quickly as possible and not do what we've done in the past, and we've changed our format, and we've done things a little bit differently in 2021 due to the COVID. We hope you'll enjoy our program that we have planned out for you, and we hope that you'll enjoy and enrich your knowledge of our great American hero, General Kazimierz Pulaski.
At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Michael Frerich, the Treasurer of the State of Illinois. He has been in office since 2013 and is currently serving his second term. Mr. Michael Frerich.
Szanowni Państwo, dzień dobry. On behalf of the state of Illinois, it is my honor to greet everyone. This holiday is a uniquely Illinois tradition, and so as the treasurer of our great state, welcome. The contributions of Poles can be seen all over Illinois. We have local place names, such as Warsaw, Radom, and Posen, which trace back to the land of the White Eagle. Chicago is home to noted monuments of Tadeusz Kościuszko and Nicholas Copernicus, who remind us of the international impact Poles have had throughout modern history. Coming into Chicago as I travel north along the interstate from my home in Champaign, I pass Pulaski Road, which honors the hero we have come together to pay tribute to today. Known as the father of the American cavalry, Kazimierz Pulaski not only saved the life of George Washington, the father of our country, he died fighting for American independence at the Battle of Savannah. Although General Pulaski may have been the first, he was one of many Polish-American patriots who gave their lives defending our country. Here in Illinois, the connections to Poland are all around us. Let us celebrate those links today as we honor the example set forth by this hero of two continents, Kazimierz Pulaski. Dziękuję.
For today's program, we have prepared several videos that will provide a unique perspective of Pulaski and the homage that has been paid to him over the last 2 centuries. The first video is the Pulaski collection of the Polish Museum of America. The video will give you a glimpse of the artifacts found here at the PMA. Your tour guide for this is PMA historian and life member Jan Lorysz. Funding for this video was made possible with a grant from the Dreyer Foundation.
The death of Pulaski on the battlefield of Savannah has been officially celebrated in the United States since the 150th anniversary of that battle. Prior to that, since at least the early 1910s, Ignatius Werwiński of South Bend, Indiana, began a campaign to raise awareness of Pulaski and the need for him to be officially commemorated by single-handedly writing hundreds, if not thousands of letters to politicians and leaders across the nation and giving speeches to all audiences that would listen. His efforts paid off as later, as chair of the Federal Pulaski Sesquicentennial Commission, he saw that in 1929, President Hoover signed a bill making October 11th General Pulaski Memorial Day as a federal day of recognition. To this day, the October date continues to be proclaimed by the President annually and observed with large parades in New York, Philadelphia, and other eastern urban centers with large Polish-American populations. Illinois, not wishing to compete with the large Italian celebrations of Columbus Day on October 12th, and already having a large parade celebrating the Polish Constitution of May 3rd, 1791, chose the state's observances of Pulaski Day on the first Monday of March, near his birthday. On September 15th, 1977, Governor Daniel Walker signed Casimir Pulaski Day into law, but not as a state holiday, at the PMA on March 3rd, 1986, in a formal declaration at the State of Illinois building, Governor James Thompson designated the first Monday in March as a state holiday in honor of this Revolutionary War hero. This was supported by the presence of Chicago Mayor Harold Washington. Since the day is near the traditional Illinois primaries, politicians of both parties, incumbents as well as contenders, have come to the Polish Museum of America since 1987. The junior senator from Illinois was present at the 2006 celebration, where he was warmly received. Maybe this was a testing of the waters, as the following year he announced his intent to run for president. In 2009, President Obama signed the bill making Brigadier General Casimir Pulaski the 8th honorary United States citizen. Pulaski's nomination was championed by Illinois Senior Senator Richard Durbin. Founded in 1935, the Polish Museum of America has an interesting and varied collection of material relating to Pulaski. Only 6 years after the sesquicentennial of Pulaski's death, the museum's first curator, Mieczysław Hyman, began gathering materials to enrich the collections. Within the PMA archives are 2 letters written by Pulaski. The earliest, written in Polish in 1772, is regarding his role in the Bar Confederation. The other is a report to General Benjamin Lincoln on the enemy at Savannah, written on September 14, 1779, less than 1 month before the assault in which he was mortally wounded. Other documents in the collection deal with Pulaski's actions during the Revolution and following his death, the conditions and treatment of his legion. This April 19, 1779 letter discusses payments made to Pulaski for his legion. General Lincoln notes on May 19, 1779, that Pulaski was present at the Council of Officers. This chart provides a register of horses within Pulaski's cavalry legion on October 6, 1779. General Lincoln signed off on the November 29, 1779 register concerning the situation of Pulaski's legion after his death. On November 30, 1779, Major Peter Vernier wrote to General Lincoln discussing the poor situation of Pulaski's legion after his death. The last item in the documents collection is a letter written by Samuel Huntington to General Lincoln on December 29, 1779, on the incorporation of Pulaski's legion after his death into other regiments. Pulaski is also featured in the museum's music collection, which includes sheet music composed specially for the centennial of Pulaski's death, entitled the Pulaski March. In the center, we see a depiction of the Pulaski Monument. Also included in the Pulaski notes is the Quick Step, a composition played by the Boston Brigade Band and dedicated to the first commander of the Pulaski Guards. The PMA houses a large collection of pins, medals, medallions, and other memorabilia associated with Pulaski, either featuring his likeness or his name. In the late 1800s, early Polish immigrants in the United States established mutual aid societies, and Pulaski was often chosen as the patron of these groups. Gwardia Pułaskiego, a Polish National Alliance organization from 1884. A Polish national group of K. Pulaski from LaSalle, Illinois, from 1888. And the Self-Aid Group, organized on June 21, 1898, in Minersville, Pennsylvania. From the early 1900s, we have pins that combine buttons and silk screening. The Mutual Aid Society of General Kazimierz Puławski. This ribbon is for the honorary godmother of the Pulaski standard, dedicated on September 26, 1909, in the nation's capital. Another mutual aid society. These last two ribbons have Chicago connections. The larger one is for the Pulaski Cavalry Society at St. Adalbert Parish in the Pilsen neighborhood. The plainer one is from the Pulaski Citizen Club at Holy Trinity Parish in Polish Chicago's historic downtown. The use of club rather than society came about as the next generation, born in the America, became more involved in Polonia, but on their own terms. Other artifacts worth highlighting include this wooden carving in 1929 by Adam Dąbrowski, which was obtained by Mieczysław Hyman. This scrapbook, compiled by Ignatius Werwiński, presents the placement and dedication of a plaque honoring Casimir Pulaski in Racine, Wisconsin. These buttons and ribbons are from various observances and celebrations of the Pulaski sesquicentennial throughout the United States. Chicago's Polish-American community participated in the 1933 Century of Progress World's Fair. Originally, Polonia was to cooperate with Poland in presenting a pavilion. Plans fell through, but not before a commemorative key fob was created. It depicts Kościuszko, Washington, and Pulaski on one side and the logo of the fair on the other. For the 1976 bicentennial of the American Revolution, the Polish Legion of American Veterans commissioned this decanter to raise funds and to commemorate Pulaski's sacrifice. It originally contained Mr. Boston's finest 100-month-old Kentucky Straight bourbon whiskey. In World War I, Kościuszko and Pulaski were asked to serve again, or rather their images were recruited. In 1917, to help raise volunteers for the Polish Army in France, Władysław T. Benda drew this poster showing Kościuszko in his likeness. Pulaski, however, is shown in a four-cornered lancer cap, not used until nearly 50 years after his death. Not translated is the last sentence, "Hey, join the fight against the eternal enemy of Poland and freedom." This 1918 poster by an anonymous Chicago artist adds President Woodrow Wilson and a young Paderewski to the trinity of Kościuszko, Washington, and Pulaski. We also have Columbia, and on the other side, Polish troops attacking the Germans besides an American tank. Another poster by an anonymous artist in 1919 shows a newly free Poland protected by Kościuszko and Pulaski. Above them are Wawel Castle, Warsaw, and Kraków. Between the two flags is Józef Piłsudski. This last poster was printed for the U.S. Department for Food during the war, while the name of Pulaski is spelled in a different variation. The text reminds Polish-American families that Kościuszko and Pulaski fought for freedom in America. Will you help America fight for freedom in Poland? Eat less grain, meat, fats, and sugar so that we can help our brothers fighting in the Allied armies. Good advice even 100 years later.
The bond between Poland and the United States are long-standing. In 1919, we celebrated the 100th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between both countries. The PMA and Poland's representative government in Chicago also have a strong relationship. The consulate has supported many PMA projects over the last 5 years, and we are extremely grateful for the support and the cooperation. Remarks on behalf of the Republic of Poland will be made by Consul General Małgorzata Bąk-Guzik.
Thank you, Mr. President. Dzień dobry Państwu. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Dear Mr. President, distinguished representatives, the local authorities, and the Polish-American community, dear friends of Polonia, ladies and gentlemen. It is truly a pleasure and honor to be here today with you at the Polish Museum of America, where we pay tribute to the soldier of liberty, General Kazimierz Pulaski, a great Polish-American Revolutionary War hero who fought for freedom and independence of two nations, his native Poland and the United States of America, where he defended liberty and sovereignty of the country. I would like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to the authorities of the Polish Museum of America for this invitation and for hosting, once again, this exceptional ceremony and official commemoration of Pulaski Day in Chicago. The museum plays a significant role and unique role in preserving a memory of General Pulaski and bringing together two nations that have so much in common. Your continuous commitment and persistence, thanks to which we are able to gather here today amid the COVID-19 pandemic, is highly appreciated and deserve our utmost respect. It is a privilege and honor for the large and vibrant Polish community of Chicago to celebrate the life and legacy of this Polish-American hero and to uphold the memory of Polish-American friendship and collaboration. Since 1977, the officials from national, state, county, and city governments and leaders of Polonia, organizations and institutions observe of the state of Illinois annual recognition of the Polish-American community by honoring General Pulaski. His actions, values, and principles have contributed to an extra degree in making both countries, Poland and United States, autonomous and independent. His dedication, courage, and ultimately sacrifice served as a model and gave direction to the future generations, and simultaneously laid the foundations for building relations between our two countries. The Polish-American partnership, which began with Kazimierz Pulaski, continues to this very day and is very much alive. The bilateral cooperation between Poland and the United States has a history of strong mutual relations in a number of various fields such as political dialogue, security and defense, and cultural, economic, and scientific spheres. The security and defense cooperation represents the foundation of Polish-American relations. United States and Poland partner closely on NATO capabilities, counterterrorism, non-proliferation, missile defense. Other very important areas of bilateral relations are human rights, energy security, economic growth, and innovation, regional cooperation in Central and Eastern Europe. Additionally, both countries maintain a close dialogue on response to global challenges and threats, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, security threats, and enormous global challenge of rebuilding our economies. And this is actually the best way to keep Pulaski's legacy alive. We keep it through working together and a constant cooperation. It is our mutual responsibility. It is also the responsibility of the local community members. Therefore, the role of Polonia, leaders, Polish-American organizations, institutions, schools is so crucial. You are already here, and in many cases, you are the bridge builder. And with your support, we keep it strong and durable. It is crucial to learn from the leaders of yesterday and continue to develop ourselves, as well as our countries learn from their successes and mistakes. I strongly believe it is very important to retell the story of our Polish-American hero, to preserve the memory and the legacy of a man who became an embodiment of ties that connect Poland and America for over 2 centuries. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Kazimierz Pulaski Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Bonkuzik. Just as Kazimierz Pulaski left his native Poland to share his military expertise with the United States, many Polish immigrants came and shared their talents, including skilled craftsmen, professionals, and artists. One such individual was Cecilia Rosnowska, who together with her daughter Anna Kraszinski founded the Polonia Polish Folk Song and Dance Ensemble here in Chicago in 1984 under the auspices of the Polish Roman Catholic Union of America. This renowned Polish choreographer recently passed away, and in tribute of her legacy, the PRCOA Polonia Ensemble will perform the Polonaise, a national dance of Poland. Following in the footsteps of her grandmother, Jacqueline Kraszinski is the current artistic director and choreographer of Polonia, and her mother, Anna, continues as its managing director. A teraz Poloneza czas zacząć.
Polonia Polish Folk Song and Dance Ensemble presented us with Polonez by Wojciech Kilar. Our next speaker is the president of the Polish National Alliance and the Polish American Congress. The activism of the PNA since its founding is well documented in the annals of Polonia. The Polish American Congress has been representing Polish American interests since 1944. Both organizations have been responsible for many campaigns and acts on behalf of Polonia. Mr. Frank Spula.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Good morning, Mr. President again, Mr. Chairman, Madam Council, elected officials, and ladies and gentlemen, and for the first time, virtual listeners. I am delighted to be here with you as we celebrate the father of the American cavalry, virtually. The Polish-American hero, Kazimierz Pulaski. General Pulaski's brilliance on the battlefield has made an impactful contributions to freedom and democracy in the United States and beyond. As a community, we are proud of having Kazimierz Pulaski being recognized throughout our history by various communities, including presidents of the United States issuing proclamations. General Pulaski is remembered in many ways, over and above being known as the father of the American cavalry. He recently was a man of history. Looking at his life, we can only be awed by his commitment to serving his country. We can only be awed by his patriotism. Like many of our families, and including the people in this room, Pulaski was an immigrant. His legacy is a testament to the fact that no matter where you are from or what language you speak, you can make a difference in the lives of your fellow Americans. Though he was born across the Atlantic Ocean, General Pulaski found a home in the United States and her values. We have a responsibility to preserve and build upon the democracy and diversity that General Pulaski has fought for. I want to express my thanks to the Polish Museum of America for arranging this gathering, which has significance to the city and our community. They have been hosting this from day one since Pulaski Day was initiated or made a state holiday in our city, state and city holiday. We need to remember all those millions of people from Poland and America and all around the world who have fought and died, and now who fight and live in the cause of freedom. This is what brings us here today, that recognition, that respect to people, to individuals like Kazimierz Pulaski and what he represented and what he died for. Getting out to vote is one way to make sure that you and your fellow Americans elect officials that will fight for your interests. It's time to take time to attend town hall meetings, get on school boards, be involved in the community, and don't be afraid to ask questions. And tough questions at that matter. This is how things get done. The Polish American Congress continues to work hard to make the voice of American Polonia heard in Congress so that the needs of the Polish community are heard in government. Getting involved in politics is just one of the ways to make a positive impact. Things like making sure that the elderly person next door has enough food to eat, that our taxes are lowered. We need to reach out to our elected representatives. We can't take a seat back and have things happen. We need to knock on those doors. We need to be involved in those political activities, attending fundraisers for elected officials. We need to donate to candidates of our choice to make things happen. You don't do anything by being a Monday morning quarterback. You need to get involved, and I can't stress that enough. We strongly encourage younger generations to get involved and get their input. And they are the future of this country, and the only way that we can have things occur is if we get the involvement of younger people. We pay tribute today to Pulaski because the truths for which he fought for in 1979 and 1779, and they're just as strong as today as they were back then. The people living in Poland really know the meaning of living under communism, and no one can tell them otherwise. They lived through it. Once again, I want to thank President Owsiany and the rest of the leadership of the museum for doing a wonderful job over the many years and for hosting this invitation here today. I want to thank everyone present, whether it's in person or virtually, for your participation today and your contributions to the Polish community. In order to have this holiday continue, we need to have pressure put on our legislatures as well. If we don't put pressure on, this holiday can eventually die. It can evaporate. When Pulaski Day was first initiated or put into law, there were various organizations, such as the Polish Roman Catholic Union, the Polish Falcons, the Polish National Alliance, the Polish Women's Alliance. All these various committees were formed in order to make it happen, and it didn't happen overnight. It was thanks to these organizations. That's why it's so important to support these organizations as we move forward, because as the old cliche goes, in unity there is strength. Once again, long live Pulaski.
Thank you, Mr. Spula. And thank you also for the P&A recently becoming a Life Heritage member of the Polish Museum of America. We now will have Mateusz Bomba giving a dramatic interpretation of Kazimierz Pulaski's farewell address to the U.S. Congress. Written in August of 1779, Pulaski states he is proud to serve a country that is truly free and fights for liberty. Mateusz Bomba.
Every proceeding respecting myself has been so thoroughly mortifying that nothing but the integrity of my heart and the fervency of my zeal supports me under it. Change then your opinion of one foreigner who from his entrance into your service has never the cause to be pleased, who in Europe is by rank superior to all that are in your service, who certainly is not inferior in zeal and capacity, and who perhaps may have been considered as one who came to beg your favor. Be more just, gentlemen, and know that as I could not submit to stoop before the sovereigns of Europe, so I came to hazard all the freedom of America and the serious of passing the rest of my life in a country truly free, and before settling as a citizen, to fight for liberty. Entuzjastyczny zapał dla szlachetnej sprawy, ożywiającej Amerykę, i pogarda dla śmierci pobudziły mnie najprzód do przyjęcia służby waszej, a pochlebiałem sobie, iż będę dosyć szczęśliwym, aby uzyskać uznanie i wywołać zadowolenie. Wszakże taki był los mój, że nicz prócz honoru, któremu się nigdy nie sprzeniewierzę, nie utrzymuje mnie w służbie, która zaczyna mi być nienawistną wskutek złego traktowania. Teraz życzeniem moim jest mówić tak, aby mię zrozumiano. Mam dla was szacunek bez uniżoności. Pochlebstwo jest równie szkodliwe w życiu publicznym, jak i w prywatnym. Jest ono wadą tych niskich istot, które usiłują mnie prześladować i obrażać. Bądźcie sprawiedliwsi, panowie, i pomyślcie, że jak nie mogłem schylić czoła przed mocarzami Europy, tak przybyłem tu poświęcić wszystko wolności Ameryki i pragnę spędzić resztę życia w kraju naprawdę wolnym, a zanim osiądę jako obywatel, walczyć o jego wolność.
Our next speaker's family activism goes back over 100 years here in Chicago, starting with her grandmother, Lydia Puczynska, who not only was a renowned actress, but also an activist in many, many Polish and Polish-American causes and organizations spanning over 75 years. Her father, Roman Puczynski, a U.S. congressman and later a City of Chicago alderman, also played a pivotal role in local, national, and world Polish and Polish-American causes. As president of the Illinois division of the PAC, he lobbied then-Governor Thompson in 1986 to declare Pulaski Day as a state of Illinois holiday. Please welcome the Honorable Aurelia Puczynski, appellate judge, who continues to carry the Puczynski family presence and activism in Polonia causes.
Thank you, President Alshani. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We come together each March to celebrate the life of Casimir Pulaski and to commemorate his death in the cause of freedom. We hear the history of the man, his achievements, and his battles. We are proud that this Polish man came to America to fight for liberty with the liberty that we share today. And we stand in awe of his courage as he faced the enemy and gave his life. Casimir Pulaski was brave. He fought in battles with a horse and a sword, and he helped save an infant nation at its birth. We cannot match his battlefield bravery. We cannot go out with horses and swords to flay at the threats of our beliefs. Ours is a different kind of battle, an intellectual one. But we should and can take a lesson from the true bravery of Pulaski. When Pulaski left Europe to sail the Atlantic for our unknown shores, he showed the same bravery that all of us have seen in our families or for ourselves. Every Polish American knows what it is to come across an ocean and face the unknown. Every Polish American knows the history of that crossing, either for themselves or for members of their family. Every Polish American knows what it is to give up the known for the unknown, to search for a better life, to risk everything for independence and liberty. And every Polish American knows that independence is one of our core values, along with faith and family. The independence to work, to pray, to own a home or business, to provide for our families, to have our own thoughts and opinions is a cherished Polish value that we all share. And everyone who is Polish or knows Polish people knows that their independence streak runs deep. Every Polish American knows, as Pulaski knew, that independence is not free, it is hard work. It is also what often fragments our diaspora. As we are fragmented over the past generation, we have lost many of the benefits of cohesion. We are scattered across the landscape of Illinois and no longer rooted in common neighborhoods. We have scattered our focus as well, with different groups turning inward to promote individual strengths. But it is in respecting our common goals that we are strong. We are all participants in this great tension. The question is how to get back the respect we once had while still respecting each other's independence. Like Pulaski, we can make the choice to work on our common goals. Each family and each organization can focus attention on Polish American contributions to this community. Each family and each organization can join forces to get the attention of political leaders who often forget that we are here. And each individual in Polonia can do the one thing that gets the attention of elected officials: we can vote. If we are saddened and depressed that there are no Polish American congressmen or aldermen in Chicago, let us take heart in the fearless determination of Pulaski and never give up, to keep at it, to work together using our brains and our ideals to peacefully influence our political life. Pulaski was not just handed a successful and fearsome cavalry. He had to build one. He had to face challenges from Congress, from other generals, from the enemy, but he did it. And he left behind his legacy as the father of the American cavalry based on his steadfast belief that he could create something that was formidable and necessary. We can build something. We can build on his ideals by working together to assure that the government Pulaski helped nurture gives recognition to our Polish American presence and values. Each of us can work in our own communities to participate in local government, events, or causes. Doing that brings credit to Polonia and provides the optics of engagement. Each of us can provide support to local Polish American candidates with votes and contributions, or better yet, become a candidate at the local level. We can create a farm team of tried and trusted Polish American candidates for larger offices at the same time we bring credibility to our values. And each of us can hold our elected officials at every level accountable for their commitment to and engagement with our Polish American community. There are 900,000 residents of Polish heritage in Cook County. That is about 1 in 7. No public official should ever be allowed to forget that or ignore it. I call on each of us to embrace the fearless determination of Pulaski in our modern lives. Most of you are already leaders or members in a Polish organization. I am asking you to be brave. Get outside the cocoon of Polonia. You have already learned how to deal with goal setting, discord, and consensus building. Now find some way to put those skills to work in the larger community. Work together with your neighbors and bring our history, heritage, and voice to the public life of our communities. Stolat.
Thank you, Judge Puczynski. If you've ever attended a Pulaski Day commemoration in the past, you know that Mirosława Stojka-Topur opens the event and closes the event. But we wanted to showcase this magnificent voice for our audience so that you can get a little taste of the talent that Polish Americans have here in the United States. Mirosława will present 4 Melodies, Opus 7, number 4, Chłopca mego mi zabrali, composed by Ignacy Jan Paderewski, with words by Adam Anstyk.
Oh
Thank you very much. That was beautiful. One of our underwriting sponsors for this event is the Polish and Slavic Federal Credit Union. The Polish and Slavic Federal Credit Union was founded in 1976 in New York City in the borough of Brooklyn. It is the largest ethnically based credit union in the United States, boasting of 20 branches, including 6 in the Chicago area. It's my pleasure to introduce Bogdan Ogórek, who is a member of the board of directors of the Polish and Slavic Federal Credit Union, as well as the Polish Museum of America.
Thank you, James. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to express my gratitude for the invitation extended to Polish and Slavic Federal Credit Union, the largest credit union, ethnic credit union in the United States of America, and a sponsor of today's ceremony. For us Polish Americans, General Kazimierz Pulaski is a special figure. Together with another Polish general, Tadeusz Kościuszko, he was one of those who came here from overseas and fought for America to arise as a land of the free. Born in Warsaw, at a young age, he fought for Poland against the Russians, for which he had to flee later the country. As an expatriate, he came to America at the invitation of Benjamin Franklin. He became a general and the founder of American Cavalry, giving his life for America during the Battle of Savannah at the age of only 34. His name is forever commemorated in the names of many towns and streets in this country. It can be safely said that in a short life, General Pulaski fully exemplified the futures and characterizes us as a Polish Americans. Persistence, honesty, ingenuity, diligence, and hard work, dedication to common good. These are the qualities that we honor in our heroes like Kościuszko and Pulaski. But also these qualities help us immigrants from a distant country across the ocean to succeed here every day in a land of success. These are the qualities thanks to which Polish Americans can cope in the difficult times as a current struggle with the pandemic. Once again, on behalf of the Board of Directors of Polish and Slavic Federal Credit Union, I would like to extend thank you to the Polish Museum of America, its president, Ryszard Owsiany, chairman of the board, James Robaczewski, and all the distinguished guests for today's ceremony. We have to remember, as president of PNA, Pan Spula said, don't take this for granted. We already lost a free day for Chicago kids from school. We cannot lose any more of the privileges that gives us from Pulaski Day in the state of Illinois and city of Chicago. So please do go out and vote, as Mr. Spula said, and bring in especially young and children to this ceremony. Have them watched as we do today, but next year's, please bring them to the museum to celebrate. Thank you again. God bless you and God bless America.
Thank you, Mr. Ogórek, and please convey our wishes to Bogdan Chmielewski, chairman of the board, and Krzysztof Mastystek, who is also a president of the credit union. Our next video presentation is unique in that it focuses on the painting behind me, The Battle of Savannah by Stanisław Batowski. This painting has been at the PMA since the 1930s and was donated by the Polish Women's Alliance and is known around the world. But not much is ever spoken about the painting as well as the painter. Julita Siegel, PMA Creator of Collections, will provide a unique and interesting perspective of the Battle of Savannah painting by Stanisław Batowski. Funding for this video is made possible with a grant from the Dreyer Foundation.
As you can see, this monumental painting has a center stage at the museum's Great Hall. Center stage is not just a figure of speech here. because the canvas is actually mounted on the stage of an auditorium that was converted into a museum. The stage placement is fitting because theater and drama just beam from the painting. What do you see? Removing all the knowledge, like tactics of a military battle or facts of the Revolutionary War, one could easily misread this painting. We see military forces moving together in one direction. However, they are wearing different style uniforms. The main action is in the center. Center left, standing out, is no doubt our hero, Brigadier General Kazimierz Pulaski, charging forward. The three-dimensional figures of rider and horse almost jump out of the canvas at us. According to code in military paintings, the horse with both front legs up in the air like this is a sign of the soldier dying in battle. Who is the second figure right behind Pulaski? Judging purely from the composition and different style uniforms, we could mistake him for Pulaski's attacker. But, in fact, they are a part of the same team.
Batowski researched the events surrounding Pulaski's death. His legion was a force of infantry and cavalry, as shown in the painting. American soldiers have blue uniforms, and the French, aiding Americans on the peripheries, white uniforms. Together, they are charging on the British forces, or the redcoats, beyond the painted scene, with an exception of one fallen British soldier in the trenches by the left edge. Pulaski is wearing the Polish hussar uniform from the late 18th century. Notice the fur-lined cape, the pelisse, and below it a pouch, a so-called hussar pendant, decorated with an emblem of the Polish white-crowned eagle. This element is very symbolically exactly in the center of the painting. The general's facial expression is that of strain and distress. He was just hit by grape shot, as we know from historical sources, somewhere below the waist. The wound is not visible in the painting. Pulaski's sword points down alongside the body of the horse, trying to keep his balance and stay in the saddle. Right behind Pulaski, the officer depicted is not George Washington, as some suggest. Washington was then in the mid-Atlantic states, keeping the British at bay. This is most likely Major Horry, Pulaski's adjutant. He seems terrified and in disbelief that his general is injured.
Notice the colors in the painting. They are vivid and darker in the center and lighter pastel all around. The front center figures are presented with more detail and realism, while other figures are more abstract, fading into the background. One thing that might surprise us is the landscape. Instead of the luscious green landscape of Savannah, Georgia, we see a desert. What time of the day is depicted? The sun is casting long shadows. It would point to an early morning or late afternoon or evening time. The sky is darker, blue, purple shade, an atmosphere almost like before or after a storm, which is very fitting with these dramatic events.
The Siege of Savannah was the second deadliest battle of the Revolutionary War. The year before, the city was captured by the British. The siege was an American and French attempt to retake it. It lasted a month from mid-September to mid-October 1779. On October 9th, a major assault against the British failed. During the morning attack, Polish nobleman Brigadier General Kazimierz Pulaski, leading cavalry forces on the American side, was mortally wounded. Batowski's Pulaski at Savannah has served as the backdrop for the annual official State of Illinois Pulaski Day ceremonies, held at the Polish Museum of America since 1987. The painting has a fascinating history associated with Chicago and Illinois. It was commissioned in 1932 for the Chicago Century of Progress exhibition, also known as the 1933-34 Chicago World's Fair. It was supposed to mark Polish-American community's participation in the fair.
Artist Stanisław Kaczor-Batowski was chosen to execute the commission. By the way, Kaczor was his nickname. He was a realist painter, specializing mainly in Poland's military history, although occasionally he painted landscapes and other subjects. He was born in Lwów in 1886. He lived in Lwów, and that's where he painted our large oil on canvas that he brought to Chicago. It is definitely considered among the best known of his works. Besides the monumental Pulaski at Savannah, we have two small paintings by Batowski in our collection. The first one is a very pleasant French Riviera seascape that can send you to a vacation dreamland. It is an oil on plywood, painted in 1932, the same year Pulaski at Savannah was painted. And the second painting is more typical for Batowski. Skirmish from Bolshevik War of 1920. It is an oil on cardboard, painted in 1922. It depicts two soldiers on horseback, Polish soldier and Russian soldier fighting.
Not just one, but two of Batowski's monumental paintings were presented at the Chicago Century of Progress, Pulaski at Savannah, and also an incident from the Polish Bolshevik War of 1920, the Battle of Zadwórze, also called the Polish Thermopylae. This painting is now in the collection of the Polish Army Museum in Warsaw.
Pulaski at Savannah painting was unveiled at the Art Institute of Chicago by the First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. The Chicago Daily Tribune featured an article about this event. It notes that Polish Women's Alliance President Emilia Napieralski participated in the ceremony and presented Mrs. Roosevelt with a giant bouquet of roses. The canvas received second place in a contest on the most popular painting, so it was quite a success with the viewers. It was purchased in 1933 by the Polish Women's Alliance for $3,200 US, which would be around $65,000 today.
In 1939, at the 17th convention of the fraternal organization, the Polish Women's Alliance proposed to donate the painting to the museum. We have a document in Polish, a special resolution explaining the details. The canvas was simply too large. It measures 11 by 14 feet and did not fit into the Polish Women's Alliance building on Ashland Avenue. By the next convention, the organization made this donation official, and Pulaski at Savannah became one of the most recognizable and cherished artifacts in our collection.
You don't need to introduce me.
Our next speaker is no stranger to the Polish Museum of America. Not only is she a member of the Polish Museum of America, but she's been a supporter and has attended these celebrations for over 30 years, one of the longest serving elected officials who've been coming to this celebration. As a Greek American, she understands the vital role ethnic communities play in the fabric of Chicago. Maria Pappas, Treasurer of Cook County.
Thank you. You know, I've been coming here for 32 years, but I have to tell you, even though this is like being broadcast on the internet, without question, this is the best one that I've ever been to. Really. I miss everyone who's not here, but the way you have put together the music, the dancing, the videos, the histories, you're to be congratulated, really. I think that it's much better than listening to a bunch of political speeches. So this pandemic has been a tragedy and a blessing for all of us. A tragedy because we couldn't go to our churches, we couldn't go to concerts, we couldn't gather at our museums, we couldn't go to restaurants, people couldn't come to dinner, our grandchildren couldn't come over, we couldn't travel to Poland, we couldn't travel to Greece. And I got to thinking, in the late 80s, when I went to Poland, I saw people going into churches, Roman Catholic churches for the first time, and kneeling and crying. And last night, when I was thinking about what I could do to honor the greatness of the people in this museum in Pulaski, I realized that the one thing that no one ever says about Pulaski is that he was Roman Catholic. He was Roman Catholic. So I saw Rich this morning and I said, Rich, tell me what in the museum is religious? And he said, but look, opposite Pulaski, the 12 Stations of the Cross that were from the first Polish Roman Catholic church in America. To my left are saints enclosed in a glass box. Above me is the resurrection of Christ from 1939 and the World's Fair, an exhibition of Pope John II. And I learned the scopa for Christmas, the nativity scene, all housed in this museum because of the great respect for this religion. And you think about it, and you think about what he was thinking as he went into battle. He was alone. He was alone on the front line. Just as we sat this whole year alone in our houses, depressed, sad, angry, hurt, unable to reach out, unable to kiss, unable to hug, unable to eat. And I thought to myself, there is a parallel between him being on the front lines in these great battles and the strength that he found in his Catholicism, expressed here in the museum. So I say to you, as we go into 2021, let us find our God, our God. I am sure that as Pulaski rode into his last battle, he found his God. And I quote from the 23rd Psalm, Father, surely goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our life. Thank you. Happy Pulaski Day. I'll see you next year with the room packed.
Thank you, Treasurer Pappas. Very enlightening words. The PNC Bank has been a Pulaski Day sponsor for the PMA for many years. PNC also became a sponsor of the 80th anniversary of the Polish Pavilion at the 1939 World's Fair exhibition by underwriting materials and activity programs for children. We are grateful to PNC for their long-standing support of the Polish Museum of America. We are proud that Scott Swanson, a Polish American, leads the PNC. Scott could not join us today, but in his place is Uzma Kazmi, who is the Senior Vice President of Business Banking for Chicago and Wisconsin.
Thank you, James, and thank you, Richard. Good morning to all of you. On behalf of thousands of employees here in the region, PNC Bank is thrilled to be part of this annual celebration honoring General Casimir Pulaski. Thank you to everyone here at the Polish Museum of America for keeping this important tradition alive. Not just for the Polish community, but for all of us who share in the spirit of honoring diversity and cultures. And thank you to all of those who are celebrating with us virtually today. At PNC, our goal is to be a partner that adds value not only for our Polish customers, but to support their community. In fact, PNC has been serving the Chicagoland Polish community for over 100 years. With hundreds of Polish-speaking employees, we offer in-language services at nearly 40 PNC branches throughout the region. Recently, we launched our PNC mobile branch, where our Polish-speaking staff visit various communities, like the historic Belmont-Cregan neighborhood, to assist Polish-speaking customers. Chicago is a special city with a rich mosaic of ethnic groups, like all of you here, dedicated to preserving the history and heritage of your homeland. We are proud of our long-standing commitment to support the museum and its preservation of Polish culture and heritage for future generations. Congratulations on all that you do year-round, and thank you for allowing us to be part of this special celebration. Dziękuję. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Usman. Please relay our thoughts to Scott Swanson and thank him on our behalf. In the year of the pandemic, we could not hold our traditional Pulaski Day celebration here in the Sabina Logisch Great Hall with guests in attendance. Normally, this hall would be packed with close to 300 people wanting to pay homage to our great hero. But we thought it would be nice to visit the past. We've put together a short montage of past PMA Day celebrations. The video is a collection of pictures and videos from over the last 15 years.
Dzień dobry. Happy Pulaski Day.
Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry.
I would like to start off by first of all saying dzień dobry to everybody.
To nie tylko zaszczyt, ale i wielka przyjemność być ponownie w tym najbardziej polskim z amerykańskich miast.
It is with great pleasure that I speak to you today on Kazimierz Pułaski Day.
W tym dniu generała Kazimierza Puławskiego stajemy razem, aby pamiętać.
So the truth be told, I realized when I got out of bed this morning that this is the 27th year that I have been coming here.
W zeszłym roku mówiłem po polsku, ale koledzy mnie nie rozumieli. So I think this year I'll speak in English.
Chciałem serdecznie przywitać wszystkich, którzy były, aby uhonorować życie działalność Kazimierza Pułaskiego.
Illinois is the only state in the Union that recognizes Pulaski Day as an official state holiday.
This year we celebrate the 100th anniversary of formal diplomatic relations between the U.S. and Poland.
So I do in my household have a very wonderful strategic alliance between my parents came from Mexico, but my husband's family came from Poland. So it's a wonderful strategic alliance. Don't you agree?
Thank you. Yes, I am Jan Czakowski. I represent a district that actually is 10% Polish.
I will say, when I was a sponsor of the original visa waiver, and somebody continues to advocate it, you do not treat a first-class friend like a second-class citizen.
I came to report to you on our efforts with Congressman Quigley to get the visa waiver program.
Casimir Pulaski famously wrote to General Washington, "I came here where freedom is being defended, to serve it, and to live and die for it."
We remember General Pulaski for his skills in battle, his commitments to freedom, and his willingness to give up his life for America's independence.
Pulaski not only gave his life for this country, but gave his life for the freedom that we enjoy, and embrace that opportunity to carry it forward, not only for ourselves, but for future generations.
God bless the great nation of Poland, God bless the people of Illinois, and God bless the United States of America. Dziękuję. Dziękuję.
And for our next cultural presentation, we will have the Tatra Mountain Cultural Foundation Ensemble presenting a Highlander dance suite.
Tatra Mountain Foundation Dance Ensemble. It's always heartening to see the youth of Polonia take part in our activities and showcase our Polish heritage. Due to hearings in Washington, Congressman Michael Quigley could not join us today, but he felt that Pulaski Day is an important holiday, and he sent his message via video.
As many of you know, Chicago is home to one of the largest Polish populations in the world outside Warsaw. As a representative for so many proud Polish Americans, I know that many of my constituents observe Pulaski Day, commemorating General Kazimierz Pulaski's contributions to American independence. General Pulaski was a native of Poland who was instrumental in America's fight for liberty during the Revolutionary War. Originally from Poland, Pulaski was recruited to join the American Revolution, where he served under General George Washington. Pulaski was a prominent leader in America's fight for freedom, using the skills he developed as a Polish general to train America's first cavalry unit, even saving Washington's life at the Battle of Brandywine. Kazimierz Pulaski was fatally wounded in the Battle of Savonal, but his legacy as a fighter for freedom endures. I was honored to join the U.S. House of Representatives in bestowing honorary U.S. citizenship on General Pulaski in 2009. The relationship between the United States and Poland remains one of our longest-standing and most important relationships. So my many trips to Poland have reminded me of the value of that relationship, and serving on the Intelligence Committee has only reinforced how critical our connection with Poland, a strong NATO partner, is to our national security. This Congress, I'm a proud member of the Congressional Caucus on Poland. I have also long championed adding Poland to the U.S. visa waiver program and was a strong supporter when it was finally admitted in 2019. I join the citizens of the 5th Congressional District in extending my best wishes to you for Pulaski Day as we celebrate this Polish-American hero.
As I've mentioned over the course of this program, and as have several speakers, the pandemic has changed how we do things. The PMA continues to be closed, but in a short time we will open our doors for the public for you to come and visit us and see our magnificent collection. But today we wanted to provide you a virtual tour of the PMA for those who have not been in the PMA since before March of 2020, or for those who have never been to the PMA. Małgorzata Kot, PMA Managing Director, will be your tour guide for today's video tour. The funds for the shooting of this video is made possible through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Council of Chicago.
Dzień dobry Państwu. Good morning. This year I have a privilege and pleasure to take you on a quick presidential tour of the museum. In addition to this short film, the talented staff of Polish Museum of America, my wonderful colleagues that I'm so proud of today, prepared many movies, and they are available at the Polish Museum of America YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and expect greatness. I would like to recognize the talented PMA staff and volunteers, all of you, dancers, volunteers, equipment crew, production crew. You're all volunteers, and I know you for 25 years, and I'm so proud of you in this moment. Szczerze gratuluję. Pulaski Day is only one of many annual events hosted by the Polish Museum. I hope that you join us for more events, including our upcoming major fundraiser, the Summer Gala, perhaps virtual still. In the 86 years of the Polish Museum, we have seen many Polish-American organizations form roots within the museum. Although they have grown independent, we encourage this organization to once again return to the Polish Museum and feel that together we preserve the past to benefit our immediate future. In this great hall alone, you are surrounded by the exhibition still, Polish Imagination, the World of Tomorrow, the Polish Pavilion and the 1939 New York World's Fair. You can see that the museum becomes more beautiful every year, thanks to your support. Many artifacts were conserved and the plays are engaging, and everything is step by step looking better. Please continue to support us. We do appreciate your support during the pandemic. Become members. Thanks to you, we all thrive. Thank you on behalf of everybody from the team PMA. Dziękuję z serca Państwu za wsparcie Muzeum Polskiego. Kazimierz Pułaski był emigrantem jak my. Czujemy się w tym miejscu szczęśliwi, jest to nasze miejsce na ziemi, Muzeum Polskie. Chciałabym Państwa bardzo serdecznie prosić o to, żebyście wspierali nasze muzeum. Dla mnie osobiście jest to ważna okazja. Dzisiaj, przed 17 laty, w Dzień Pułaskiego, urodził się mój syn o 11:02, więc to dla mnie także część historii naszej rodziny, zaklęta w Muzeum Polskie. W roku obecnym obchodzimy także jubileusz 100-lecia urodzin Stanisława Lema, który swoją prozą przewidział wiele. Powiedział: "A dream will always triumph over reality once it is given the chance." Long live the museum. Please enjoy the tour with me and soon after come to the real museum. Dziękuję. Thank you.
Located in the historic Polish district near downtown Chicago is the Polish Museum of America, one of the oldest and largest ethnic museums in the United States. Founded in 1935 by the Polish Roman Catholic Union of America, it is housed in their historic headquarters. The showpiece of the Polish Museum of America, where the public interacts with history and culture, is the Sabina P. Logisz Great Hall. Aside from being the primary exhibition area, it hosts openings, concerts, and recitals, as well as private and public events. Here, one can view the achievements of Poland and the Polish community in America. At the heart of the museum is the room dedicated to the beloved pianist, composer, and Prime Minister Ignacy Jan Paderewski. As Prime Minister, Paderewski signed the Versailles Peace Treaty, officially recognizing newly reborn Poland after World War I. The museum provides myriad educational opportunities, teaching young people the fascinating stories of the Polish and Polish-American past. The Hall of Transportation combines artifacts from 2 rooms of the Polish Pavilion, featuring the legendary history of the large, twin transatlantic liners, MS Piłsudski and MS Batory. The archives of the Polish Museum of America contain old documents from Polish, Polish-American, and worldwide sources. The library, established over 100 years ago, provides books in both Polish and English for the public, as well as special collections and rare books. Thanks to the generosity of its sponsors and friends, the Polish Museum of America has built up a repository of world-class art. The fine art featured in the Stephen and Elizabeth Ann Kuśmierczak Art Gallery encourages the imaginations of all visitors, old and young alike. This is a place where sculptures come to life, inspired and motivated by the folklore rooted in these figures. This is a place where art inspires art. A large part of the collection comes from the Polish Pavilion at the 1939 New York World's Fair, including this 2.5-story stained glass window. Among its many holdings are artifacts that are not found in any institution in the world.
The Polish Museum of America is fortunate to have a very talented staff. As president, It makes my job easier and makes the museum shine throughout the whole year. As you saw in today's videos, our staff has prepared videos that are informative and interesting. Our next video presentation is Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's poem, Hymn of the Moravian Nuns of Bethlehem, on the consecration of Pulaski's banner, as recited by Barbara Koszuchowska, a renowned actress here in Chicago, and PMA Operations Manager.
When the dying flame of day through the chancel shut its ray, far the glimmering tapers shed faint light on the cowled head. And the censers burning swung where before the altar hung the crimson banner that with prayer had been consecrated there. And the nuns' sweet hymn was heard the while, sung low in the dim, mysterious aisle. Take thy banner, may it wave proudly o'er the good and brave, when the battle's distant wail breaks the Sabbath of our veil, when the clarion's music thrills to the hearts of those long hills, when the spear in conflict shakes and the strong lance shivering breaks. Take thy banner, and beneath the battle clouds encircling wreath, guard it till our homes are free. Guard it. God will prosper thee in the dark and trying hour, in the breaking force of power, in the rush of steeds and men. His right hand will shield thee then. Take thy banner. But when night closes round the ghastly fight, in the vanquished warrior's bow, spare him by our holy vow, by our prayers and many tears, by the mercy that endures. Spare him, he our love had shared. Spare him as thou wouldest be spared. Take thy banner, and if e'er thou shouldest press the soldier's bier, and the mournful drum should beat to the thread of mournful feet, then this crimson flag shall be martial cloak and shroud for thee. And the warrior took that banner proud, and it was his martial cloak and shroud.
As our tradition has it, a wreath is presented and laid in front of the Battle of Savannah, paying homage to and honoring General Pulaski, who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Today, the wreath will be presented by Frank Spula, President of the Polish National Alliance and the Polish American Congress, James Roboczewski, President of the Polish Roman Catholic Union of America, Uzma Kazmi, Senior Vice President at PNC Bank, and Bogdan Ugurek, Director of the Polish Slavic Federal Credit Union. The Kościuszko Polish Lancer Society are the honor guards leading our guests. Bartłomiej Książopka will play his rendition of Polskie Drogi, composed by Andrzej Kurylewicz. I call upon the Reverend Andrzej Tocki, pastor of Holy Trinity Mission and PMA chaplain for the benediction.
Szczęść Boże. As we conclude this beautiful celebration, let us pray. Dear God, as we face these uncertain times in our nation and the world, we ask you, Lord, to dwell among us. We are comforted by the knowledge that you alone are our Savior and Lord, and the ultimate master of our life. We trust our nation to your loving care. Lord, send your Spirit to touch the hearts of our nation's leaders. Give them the wisdom to know that is right and the courage to do it. Give us your light and your truth to guide us in our ways so that we may seek your will in our lives and impact the world around us for your kingdom. In Jesus' name we pray. Ojcze nasz, któryś jest w niebie, święć się imię Twoje, przyjdź królestwo Twoje, bądź wola Twoja, jako w niebie, tak i na ziemi. Chleba naszego powszedniego daj nam dzisiaj i odpuść nam nasze winy, jako i my odpuszczamy naszym winowajcom. I nie wódź nas na pokuszenie, ale nas zbaw ode złego. Amen. Błogosławieństwo Boga Wszechmogącego, Ojca i Syna i Ducha Świętego niech stąpi na was i pozostanie na zawsze.
As we come to a close of the 2021 Pulaski Day Commemoration, I wanted to relay our grateful appreciation to all those who participated today, to our speakers, to our performers, to our sponsors, PNC Bank, Polish Federal Credit Union, and the Polish Roman Catholic Union of America. Without their support, this would not have been able to happen. We hope that we were able to, even though the pandemic still is around and haunts us to this day, we wanted to still uphold our tradition and keep Pulaski alive for all to look at. We hope we gave you a little glimpse of the PMA for those who haven't been here for over a year. And we also hope that all those who are watching our program today, that when the museum does open, you return back and visit the PMA, become a member, or donate. As we close, we also asked prior to the program, we asked several individuals to provide selfies. Those will be coming up prior to the credits. Thank you to all those who have participated. Thank you for those who are viewing and logged on to our website. We look forward to being able to open up the museum in the coming weeks, and we look forward to all activities that we have planned this year, and we look forward to 2022 with a Pulaski Day celebration again. To close our ceremony, I call upon Mirosława Topolsky for singing of God Bless America.